other night. That was
Hey,
terrible.
good night, Josh. Hey, Josh, good night. This is Excelia here. How's everything going, my man?
Good, dude. Going good. Going good. Cannot complain. How are you doing?
Very good, brother. Very good. Thank you for joining us. For all those who are watching right now, we have Mr. Josh in the house. He is a community builder for the Decentraland, tattoo artist, and very pretty much digital creator as well. It's an honor to have you here, Josh. Now, bro,
Thank you. It's an
I've
honor to
known you
be
for a
here.
while. Yeah, I've known you for a while, and I've been, following what you're doing for quite a while now, art-wise. And before we jump into the artistic questions, I would like to know, how did your crypto journey started, or like where did it start? How did you came up to hold your first crypto coin, and how did you end up in the central end? Can you tell me about it?
Yeah, I think I started looking into crypto in 2019, early 2019. Um, I didn't really start following it real close until probably the end of 2019, beginning of 2020, when I really started kind of diving into the rabbit hole of YouTube videos and interviews and podcasts and all kinds of things about crypto and kind of getting my feet wet and learning a little bit. And then I didn't really think much about getting into NFTs until like a few times some random people would bring up NFTs just on the basis of me being an artist. It kind of came up in conversation and I didn't think too much of it. And then eventually I started, seeing more stuff on like Twitter and following more projects and getting into Discord servers. Like I hadn't really ever been like super big into using Discord for communication until NFTs. Um, but yeah, I kind of got in there and started exploring a little bit and getting into communities and like kind of learning like outlines of NFT projects and what could potentially be a bad NFT project or potentially be a good NFT project and seeing different kinds of like community engagement and trying to figure out how to jump over the hurdles of some of the FUD and some of the different things that how NFT projects are. You never know until you know. But yeah, I think what led me to Decentraland was kind of like a lot like a lot of people trying to talk to people in my daily life about crypto and NFTs and a large lack of interest, from a lot of people. And then I had heard about Mana and I had heard about Decentraland and land sales, but I was not involved at like the very beginning of those types of things. So eventually I just found my way to the decentraland.org website and logged in and found myself in countless conversations like in no time, things that I was trying to talk to people about in the world and getting ignored about. So it kind of just it became easy to stay and continue having conversations with people of mutual interest and passion for the space. So it's kind of how I found my way to Decentraland.
So you would say you were just exploring in the community was was
Just
like
yeah.
the match in the gasoline, like it's just what drove you to stay. It's DCL community
Yeah, I
tends
mean
to have
outside
a
of just the general, yeah, I mean outside the general just common interest of crypto and NFTs and whatnot, like I was just blown away at this like 3D modeled space and finding out all these buildings I'm walking by and all these like things are all done by they're created by people, artists and developers and this open source type of place, and that just blew my mind. I was hooked after that. I was like, I got to make some stuff. I got to learn how to make stuff. how to make some stuff, and here we are.
Yeah, I've seen some of the stuff you've been doing. So tell me about your first wearable. Like, how did you make the jump from, because I know you're working as a tattoo artist in real life, but how
Yeah.
was like, what was the process of creating your first wearable? Like, which challenges or which barriers did you find? How did you overcame them? And how was that process?
The very first time I tried to get into anything wearable related, I think some of the first videos I watched was some like Hiroto Kai like tutorials that I had found like just kind of browsing around, and me and my cousin at the time, we were just kind of trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? We were watching tutorials, trying to communicate with each other and figure out what we can make. And I'm like you said, I'm a tattooer. I've been tattooing for the last decade, and naturally, with all that time invested, I just want to, I wanted to figure out how to express tattoos more in the Decentraland space. And why not? You know what I mean? So yeah, we tried to make a tattoo wearable, and it was a lot. It was a lot of back and forth. A lot of getting the image right, and then finding out how to place the image correctly on the 3D model, learning how to do like UV unwrapping and all kinds of stuff. Luckily, like the geometry part of it makes sense to me. In the past, I've done upholstery. I've done other types of work that kind of requires unwrapping from a 3D to a 2D or a 2D to a 3D. You know what I mean? So it kind of just made sense, and I just kept looking up tutorials, or I would if I had a specific thing that I wanted to accomplish, because there's so many buttons and options and things and tools to use in Blender and in other softwares, and it's kind of overwhelming. So you kind of just you know kind of just take it as it comes, I guess. You know what I mean? And fortunately, there's a lot of really cool people in the Decentraland community that I've been able to ask questions to that may have more experience than I do, or I've seen something that they did and I was like, that's rad. That's, influential to me as an artist. Like, how do you do that? And a lot of people are very willing to share and to, you know what I mean, help people grow and learn. And if it wasn't for that, I probably, I wouldn't have learned as much as I've learned now, that first tattoo wearable.
When did that came out? The first tattoo wearable?
I want to say that was in, oh man, I don't remember exactly, but I want to say January. I think January.
This year, January.
This year, yeah, this year. Um, but that was published to his store. Like, I didn't take publishing on that or anything like that.
Your store?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yeah. He doesn't spend a whole lot of time in Decentraland these days. You know what I mean? I'm not sure what he's doing, but outside of that, I've kind of started to just make my own wearables and taken what I've learned working with him. You know what I mean? And learning side by side with him to, all right, what do I want to do now? You know what I mean? Like, if I was free to create anything that I could create, like, what am I going to create? You know what I mean? And the first thing I made.
Did tattoo wearable launch before or after we did our backpack? I'm fussy on the time.
This was before. This is a little like a
So
little
this was
yeah.
your first wearable for real.
This is the first wearable that I ever like had any hand in at all.
Okay. Cool.
And the first wearable that I published, which is still the only wearable that I have published currently, is a pair of
I know.
shoes.
Yeah,
The mid-row shoes.
part of the shoes. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was
I
the first one that I, from the ground up, modeled, textured, painted, submitted. You know what I mean?
Mid rose, right?
Mid-rows. Yep. Yep.
Mid rose with the pink glowing.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
got like like a purplish, pinkish,
yeah,
magenta maybe. Yeah,
By
dude.
the way,
Yeah, that was.
let's do a giveaway. Like for anyone, like the first person who publishes their wallet in your Twitter account, just let me know and I'll send them a pair. Okay.
There you go. There you go.
So Josh, and what about like I do need to ask you this because I have thought about this myself, and I think that every wearable lover in the Central has thought about this. How challenging has it been for you as a tattoo artist to bring your tattoos into the Central as wearables because because they replace actual wearables. So what's the
Yeah,
challenge there?
that's been like the tricky part and the fun part, you know what I mean, is figuring out how to utilize the different variables of, the equation that is making a wearable. Whether you're going to fill an upper body slot or a lower body slot, and if you're going to include a t-shirt with the tattoo, and is the tattoo going to clip with the t-shirt and look weird? Yeah, I don't know. I kind of started thinking about it in the sense of like, all there's so many wings, right? And the wings like occupy different slots, so you can wear like, you know what I mean,
Mouth.
7 different
Oh,
wings
yeah.
or whatever. And like, one is paired with an earring, one is paired with something else, and
My, my
next thing
my
you know,
diamond wings, they like when you wear them, they become goggles as well. And this is
there
the
you
slot
go.
they're using.
Exactly. So I kind of thought about like applying the whole tattoo thing in a similar manner, where I'll do one that takes up the feet category and there's some shoes paired with it. I'll do another that has a pair of sunglasses with it. So it's like, if you want to wear multiple tattoos at a singular instance, you'll just put on these other wearables and the tattoo will be equipped with it, That's the
But you're
best.
limited in that. But you're limited also in that aspect because it
Yes.
requires from you on a creative aspect to also take this additional factor into consideration.
Yeah.
And for me as a user or as a consumer of your wearable, it forces me to find a combination where I can use that tattoo and the additional wearable that it comes with.
Right.
So what do you feel about like I was having this conversation with CK Bowles, CK, she's very active
Hmm.
and she's a nail artist. She wants a hand category pass for creating wearables specifically for the hands, just rings and jewelry and stuff.
Right.
How would you feel about this? Like, do you think this is the solution for the problem? Maybe to get like an actual skin wearable category where you can just place the wearables on top of the skin without messing with the clothing, and that you can place the clothing on top,
I
maybe
mean,
a
yeah,
layer. What do you
that'd be
what do you
great.
have?
I would love that. I feel like that would, open up a lot of possibilities, just having an extra variable all in the mix. Um, there's ways that you can like there's a few different ways that you can like apply a tattoo, but it all comes down to what slot is it going to fill, you know what I mean? And if there was a specific slot for like skin modification type, you know what I mean, wearables, then yeah, I think that would be awesome. Absolutely.
Like now that you're involved a little bit more in the central end, how would you go about trying to make a change like this in the central end?
Oof.
Like if you're a creator and you get stuck like this, how would you go about trying to actually change things? What's the
Yeah,
mechanism?
that's a great question. I'm not sure. All I know is that I'm going to keep practicing what I do. You know what I mean? For one, I haven't even published and released any of my personal tattoo wearables yet. So I'm going to start with doing that. You know what I mean? I'm going to start with doing that and, see how that goes. I'm going to actually, instead of just in theory, I'm going to actually test like
The
the,
practical
the
aspect.
market of what is available right now. And I'm sure questions and more like technical answers will kind of come up as I go. And if there's a way to get into the forum and ask some questions and maybe get some answers, and who knows, maybe some people who are capable of making these types of changes, or at least helping make these types of changes, can see that what I'm doing like kind of needs it, and they'll be on board to give a helping hand. I'm not sure yet though.
To get it to proposal time, you mean?
Right.
That's it's the way to
I'm not
go.
like I'm not like super technical. Like when it comes to like the dev side of things, like I don't even know how like somebody would create. Like I just utilize what's available because you know what I mean. I'm just an artist, but like
How
if
you're doing.
someone yeah, if someone knew like what would really help and was able to actually make like a change, like adding a wearable category, like a skin modification wearable category, I would definitely lend a hand to help and give feedback and do whatever I needed to help make that a reality for sure.
That's the point of these spaces, to
Yeah,
raise this conversation, to create this,
yeah,
to
yeah.
put
You're
these
right.
topics on the table. This is
You're
the
right.
importance of this. So, Josh, let me, like, just before we wrap it up, why don't you tell me a little bit more about what you're actively doing for the Central End community? Because I know you're very active right now as well. And I know there's Discord called CBD, which has an amazing name, by the way, brought to us. I think the initiative came from Canessa, Simple, and a bunch of others.
Yeah, totally.
But what can you tell me about it? Like, what's your take on the community revolution that is happening in the Central? And what's your role in that?
I think it's a never-ending fight, man. I think we're all like, we all have our own ideas of how to make things work or, where we want the space to go. But, the more you get out and you talk to people and you keep your ears to the ground and you listen and, you participate, you're going to tune your algorithms to align with, groups or people that maybe see a similar, bigger picture as you do. And that's kind of what CBD ended up being for me. You know what I mean? I enjoy the conversations that happen in there, and I definitely invite anybody. If anybody wants to send me a direct message, I will send them an invite to the server. But yeah, as far as in there, I'm currently helping with. There's like we're trying to get some educational and welcoming type content on a screen and kind of try to put them around the Decentraland map in various places so
Yeah,
that new users can kind of get a little bit more of a glimpse at what they can do and how they can do it, and
yeah.
hopefully a little bit of information on how they can also help themselves protect themselves. You know what I mean? So I think that's really important. So when I see that type of workflow being started, um, it's inspiring to jump in and see what I can do to help. So that's kind of what I do there.
Nice, nice.
But that's just one
I don't know
project
if you
currently.
read, I posted the other day. If you need all this information in Spanish, just shoot me up and I'll help you translate it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
that's another thing too. I know we're looking for different types of welcoming, you know what I mean, messages from different like different languages spoken within the Decentraland community. So anybody that can provide any kind of welcome language from or welcome message from any language that they would like to, I would say get into the CBD Discord and ask some questions and reach out, and we can definitely we could all use the help, you know what I mean? So
in
anywhere
case it
there's
wasn't clear, it was an actual invitation for people to join the CBD Discord, okay, and help us
what's
out.
that?
This was an actual invitation for whoever is listening who can help us out to join.
A
It's an
hundred percent.
active invitation, okay? It's not just a
One
suggestion.
active invitation. Get in there. Let's expand.
Yeah.
Let's make things grow, and let's figure out what all we can do to move things along.
Well, Josh, any last words from you on this interview? Anything else that you would like to add? Anything you're Oh, before that, like, what can we expect from you then in the near future? The tattoos?
Yeah, definitely. I'm working on some tattoo wearables. I've got some one-of-one stuff going on Polygon that I'm kind of slowly adding to. I'm exploring different ideas for utility. Ultimately, I would like to somehow merge my, physical tattooing with, a utility from that for NFTs and wearables. I'm sure that picture will become a little bit more clear once NFTs are used
I
more
love my
widely.
avatar to rock my tattoo. That would be amazing.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I'd like to have a utility on one of them that does that. You or say you purchase it and you want to collaborate with me on an original tattoo design, like we can create a unique one of one tattoo. Part of the whatever you pay for the NFT will go towards the submission price, and I will create it and I will mint it and I will send it to you, and you will have the only one ever made, and you can hold on to it forever, or you could sell it to your friend.
Nice,
You know
nice,
what I mean?
nice. Yes,
So different ideas in the
I like
making for sure. It'll all come together. But for now, I'm just kind of enjoying the ride and taking it as it comes.
all
Outside of
that.
that, you rock. Thanks for
Nice.
being you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, thank you, Joshie.
Of course.
Uh, Now, yes, now it's the time. Any last words for
No,
any
man.
users or for DG users? The
Have
idea,
fun playing poker. I'm not a huge poker player, but I know you're pretty good, Pixelia. You could probably give a lot more advice on that than I can. But
go
it
all in. It's my worst and best advice. Feeling uncertain, go all in. That's what I do, and it works every time like a charm.
it sounds like an awful strategy.
It is an awful strategy. That's why I'm telling you I'm not the best at giving advice. I'm just a lucky bastard. That's it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, no, thank you for the time. Thanks for hosting this, and like, thank you, DG, for potentially seeing this through and making this a reality, and you know, all that.
DG rocks, Josh. DG rocks. Did you get the chance to check the Flex beta testing?
Check the
It's
what
a
now?
mobile version. The mobile version is on, Josh. If
Oh,
you're
for
not if you're not playing poker, I'll make a gift to you. I'll give you one of them tournament wearables so that you can
so I
do
can
some
test the mobile.
not test it so that you can work your way into an actual wearable.
Yeah, I mean that would be cool. That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Okay, let's make it happen.
Sweet, dude. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
You have a good one, Josh.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Yeah, you have a good one, man.
All
Bye.
right. Later.